Soften up the mess, drop it in the water, let the daughter find her image with the rest. She'll be learning how to breathe, spinning through identity, reveal another pretty little scheme. Save her mind, hold her hand.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Y'all, it's been 12 weeks, over 12 weeks actually. It's been over 12 weeks since I last posted, and y'all, so much has happened. So much has happened. So for the people that know me, sorry y'all. Okay. For the people that don't know me, my name is Lexus, Lexis, but you can call me Lexi for short. And to all my new subbies or all my people that's just coming to the channel, hey, hi. I promise you, it's cool over here. Okay, it's a judgment-free zone over here. So much has gone on in these last 12 weeks, and I kind of just want to get into it all. It may be a couple parts, but let me see if I could just put it all in one video. I don't know how it's gonna go. We just gonna flow. Yes, this is a matcha. I put my matchas in a wine glass because I no longer drink alcohol. So anytime I have an excuse to use a wine glass or a champagne glass, I'm going to use it. And sometimes I just want to feel demure. Doesn't matter what's in my cup. That's freaking good. Let me put it back here. Woo, okay. Where do I begin? So let's start off with why I disappeared for 12 weeks. I really don't know how this video is gonna go. I'm gonna just flow. Y'all already know me. Ain't nothing crisp, cookie cutter type stuff over here, okay? We keep it in the buck and we keep it in the bag. I just came from brunch and I was like, since I'm already dressed, I might as well go ahead and get this video out. So I thought about switching out my outfit, like, oh, maybe this is not very Christian-like, but I would be putting off y'all. I would be putting on, trying to pretend that I wasn't dressed like this today. Yes, this is a very cute outfit. Like, I have boobs. I can't help that. You feel me? To me, I feel comfortable in this. If you think this not Christian, like, I'm very sorry. That's all I can say. I'm very sorry if you feel that way. So moving forward, why did I disappear? There was a lot of reasons why I disappeared, but it turned into a different reason in the midst of me disappearing. Okay, so the original reason why I disappeared was because, like, I was looking at a lot of videos on YouTube saying, like, disappear for 12 weeks, change your life, come back, you know, a different person. Woo-woo. So initially I was like, I'm finna look good. I'm finna get my physique right. I'm finna get my aesthetic right. I'm finna do all this other stuff. Like, I'm finna come back a brand new person. Like, y'all ain't even gonna recognize me. That's not really what happened. That's not what happened. The enemy was enemy in. Can an enemy be enemy in? In my head, that's what it is. Okay, so I did do a lot of things. So I did move out of my old apartment. So I got a new apartment. We'll do an apartment tour as I'm like decorating my apartment and stuff like that. I've already started. I'm in my bedroom. That first room is going to be decorated as my room. What's it called again? So I did move in February. I got a new job like right before I moved. What else? So it's just so much. So I'm not gonna really go in order, but I'm gonna go in order of events that pop up in my head. Okay, I started a new job, and I was going to the gym. I was becoming a 5 a.m. girly, like a 5 a.m. girly, like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, work out, eat well, get my steps in. And for the first 2-3 weeks, it was really like, it was hitting. Like, I was like, oh, I like this. Like, I like waking up early in the morning, having a long morning, getting most of my steps in. I'd be like 7,000 steps before I even make it to work. Like, it felt very productive. I can say that. And for the people that stay consistent with that, hey, kudos to you. But after a while, I was kind of like, bro, I don't go to work till 11 o'clock. Waking up at 5 a.m. was actually insane to me. And I was just like, bro, nah, like, this is not the lifestyle I want to live, to be honest with you. So I end up instead of going to the gym after work or later, I stopped going to the gym altogether. I didn't go to the gym for almost 10 weeks straight. I'm just not getting back in the gym, like literally as of this week. So yeah, I didn't go to the gym for like 10 weeks. I was eating trash. We always had a candy bowl at work. So much was going on. Like I was just feeling myself slowly deter from my routine, to the point where I stopped reading my Bible as much. I stopped going to church because of my work schedule. And even though I have Sundays off, it was just like my Tuesday through Saturday schedule was so exhausting, to the point where Sunday come, I don't want to do nothing. I would literally not leave the house. I would not move. I would not go nowhere. I would sit my behind down. And not leave and just watch TV all day. And then on Mondays, I would like clean up, reset, grocery shop, meal prep, stuff like that. Because I was still trying to meal prep, even though I was still eating candy from the commissary at work. So that was the situation, right? So because I'm not reading my Bible as much, I am more prone to attacks. And I'm going to get into that later in the video, because in this time, even though I disappeared for 12 weeks and I did not come out of it how I thought I was going to come out of it, I came out of it with so much knowledge. I came out of it with so much like grace for other people. You know what I'm saying? So God kind of knocked me off my high horse. So I feel like it was good and bad at the same time. Like, and I see it all together as a good thing, because every day is a new day. Every day, like whatever I did yesterday is just another lesson learned, right? That I can apply to another season in my life. In the midst of me deciding, okay, I'm gonna disappear for 12 weeks and all this stuff is happening, I want to say after the third week, when I stopped going to the gym, I was like, well, you know what? I feel like I'm not doing these 12 weeks things correctly. I can just get back on social media. But then again, I had to tell myself and hold myself accountable, because if I was going to fail everything else, I was going to at least stick to what I told myself. I'm going to disappear. And in that time, it was kind of more to prove to myself that I did not need to be validated. I did not have to post every photo on Instagram. I did not have to post every single thing of my life for some type of attention or some type of validation. I'm not I call it a whore, attention whore. I'm not an attention whore, okay? I don't need attention from everybody and stuff like that. But as a person that is very self-aware, I do like a certain level of attention. And because as a content creator person, I've always done rants on Instagram or Snapchat, and a person that's always been kind of like behind the camera when I want to be behind the camera, I've always had a certain level of attention, but never too much attention. And I wanted to see if I could just thrive by myself and feel good and not go into a depressive state without needing all that attention. Like, can you just dress fly just to dress fly? Can you just be you just to be you? Do you have to document every single thing, right? And it doesn't mean I wasn't doing content, because I got heck of content. Y'all go follow my business page, because now I do fashion content and makeup content on that page. Like I said, it's so many different levels to what has happened in these 12 weeks. Y'all just go follow that page, because so many things. But I came into a different aesthetic, how I want to dress, because I started to learn who I actually was, because I was not comparing myself to other people. I've always had my own personality, but I've been so like locked into my personality that like it is what it is. Like, I'm very, very comfortable with who I've become, who I used to be, who I am now. You feel me? Like, because all of them are me, are versions of me. But sometimes we can't step into the version that we are now, because we can't accept the version that we used to be, or the version that we want to be, and we're just not there yet, right? So I've accepted all versions of me at all chapters of my life, because where I'm at right now, all of that played a role into me getting where I am. How I dress, how I speak, how I approach certain things, and how I listen to my discernment, y'all. To my discernment. Because even though I felt far from God, because God never left me, right? I left God. And I wouldn't say I left God, because I was still talking to God. I would still pray at night. I was still praying in the morning, but I wasn't on fire for God. And I felt bad. Like, I really was, at first I was really like, this is something that's off. Like, things are going well for me. Why am I not like staying in my Bible? Because I never want to be the type of person where when things are going good, and now me and God ain't rocking the same way that we used to when I was, things was going bad. So I've always been scared of that. And isolation or not being around your community, y'all, that is the work of the enemy. Because of the schedule I have for the 12 weeks, it was so detrimental because I stopped going to EA, right? I stopped going to my church group. And because I stopped going to church, so I stopped having the same community. I'm not saying stop, because we still text, we still talk, we just went to brunch together. But it wasn't as strong in my life as it was prior. And then because I was not going to, because I was going to church on Thursdays, and then I was going to church on Sundays, and then I was still reading my Bible every single day. And then we still do Bible studies on Mondays. So Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays, it was locked in for God. And then throughout the week, I would still sustain myself because I was doing Bible study on Monday. You feel me? And I wasn't going to eat, and I wasn't going to church. I was depleted. It was just different. It really was different. And I didn't really notice that it was because of my lack of community. And I was trying to do this from the strength of my own self, as well as, yes, God. But outside of community, it became a lot harder than it should have been. So please, if you don't take anything out of this from what I'm saying, keep your community. If your community is good and it keeps you aligned and brings you closer to God, steward over those communities very well and do what you got to do to make sure you lock in with that, because it is so important. So moving forward, I started talking to somebody, right? So when I first got to work, and this is the work of the enemy, because I promise you, the enemy, somebody has said this, the enemy don't have new tricks. The tricks just come in a different form, right? Something like that. I don't know, but you get it, what I'm saying. So, and that's exactly what it is. So I started working at a new job or whatever. And this dude, he had everything as far as in the resume, right? He was talking about him being Christian, him having a nonprofit organization. He was coaching for football for kids. He was about to be in the NFL, but something happened. And he had to end up giving his life to God because of what God had brought him through or whatever. And, very handsome, the way he dressed, the way he carried himself and stuff like that. And on the outside, you would be like, wow, God, like, did a good one with that one. But there was a conversation that we had. I don't want to get too much into this conversation, but I feel like this was such a big thing that happened to me in these 12 weeks that made me like really sit back and be like, you know what, God, like, if I just listened to you, I would keep myself out of a lot of trouble, like for real. And thank God I listened to him. I should have listened to him sooner. Okay, just hear the story. So first it was like, oh, you're so dope. We talking. We had a conversation about God at one point. And that was honestly the first red flag, right? When we was talking about it, the conversation was good, right? But then the next conversation we had, he was talking about they speak about money more than they speak about anything in the Bible. And I was like, I guess in context we talk about money, but I said the idea of the Bible is to understand salvation and understand what God has done for us. And, it's always pointed back to Jesus. So if you're not pointing it back to Jesus, you're missing the point of it. And his view of God's love and God's grace was a bit uncomforting to me. Like, it was like, oh, you really view God like that? Like, oh, we don't serve the same type of God, because how could you view God like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, I don't know exactly what was said, and I don't want to lie, but it was just more so, it took me aback. Like, and we ended up arguing about something, and then when he realized that what I was saying was like valid, he was like, no, I was joking. I was just wanted to see what you was gonna say. Like, but you know how when somebody's not joking and they realize like you catching on what they saying, because I would repeat back what he said to me and then say it out loud and then like kind of like go after. He was like, nah, I'm just joking. And I'd be like, no, and I would tell him like right then and there, no, you weren't. Like, you weren't joking. Like, why are you lying about that? So that would be like a red flag for me. Long story short, I would feel like at work he'd be one person, and then when we get off work, when it's time to talk, text, and stuff like that, he would just act like he had a whole nother family at home or something. Like, he would just disappear, or he would make plans and not go through with it, or it would have these elongated excuses like you're in traffic for 3 hours, or you gotta clean dog poop for an hour and a half. Like, he would have all these crazy excuses, and then when I'd be like, you know what, never mind, he would make me feel, try to make me feel as though I was being impatient, or like it wasn't his fault, it was out of it. I was like, it seems as though this is such a pattern. Like, I've never seen somebody have horrible time management skills. My birthday happened, so I turned 27. I turned 27 March 9th. And we were supposed to do something for my birthday, and then last minute, because usually I do stuff for myself on my birthday. I don't really spend it with people because I feel like I always kind of just get disappointed. So that day is just designated for me. I do what I want. I'm on my time. I don't have to worry about making reservations for other people not showing up. Like, it's just, and then to the point where, hey, if you want to come, you can come, but we're on my time. Like, no one's rushing me. I'm not worried about spending money on nobody else. I'm just not rushed. Like, it's at my pace. You are along for the ride or you're not, type stuff. I'm not, I'm getting there at 2. I'm there. You either here or not. Like, that's just what it is. So that's how I've been spending my birthday. So he sent me a screenshot of like, we was going to go to Capitol Grill. We're going to do all this other stuff. But I was like, you can't even call me when you say you're going to call me. And I'm very big on a guy keeping his word. Like, say what you mean and mean what you say. Right? Don't make empty promises. I don't like that. So I would explain that to him, gave him a chance, and then he was supposed to call me that night, and he didn't. So because you didn't call me that night, and I just talked to you about you not calling me before, and you not bringing up your word, and you not feeling the need to explain why you couldn't call me, threw me. So I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do nothing for my birthday with you. Honestly, you're gonna disappoint me. Woo woo woo. He doesn't respond. Right? Next couple days, we get back to, mind you, we work together, so he gets back to work, and he's talking to me about a whole bunch of, he's actually kind of avoiding me, and he did give me coward vibes. So he would do stuff, and he would understand that I'm mad, but I'm at work, I'm a professional, people need not know our business. So, I'll just be like real short with, whatever the situation was. And he would kind of like steer away from me. But then when he feel a little bit more comfortable, he'd be like, he'll open the door, be like, you welcome, or did you have a good morning? Like, little stuff like that. Like, I could tell you're on eggshells, but like, yeah, it was just weird. I don't know. So I had said, you owe me an explanation. You trying to be all cool with me, but you owe me an explanation. He basically tried to gaslight me into like, oh, you did that. Like, I'm not thinking about it. I was trying to get everything in order and everything all together. You were on my mind. So if I was on your mind, you would have texted me. And then I texted you before I told you never mind about my whole birthday thing, and then you still chose not to text me all weekend. If you had all that stuff planned and you spent all that money, you would have made sure it didn't go to waste, and you would have explained yourself, but you didn't. I was like, I'm not the one. I said, you are used to females that allow you to talk your way out of things. They see your resume, you talk them in circles, and you know what I'm saying, like, you get your way. And I'm not one of them. I have discernment. Not only that, is when I ask God about every person. So every single time I ask God about you, whatever, boom, you do something. That shows me exactly, like, that's not the type of man I want. So God has been answering me the whole time. And once my spirit and my flesh starts to fight, I know that my spirit automatically is telling me go the opposite way. Because if my flesh is fighting for something and my spirit is saying the opposite, 9 times out of 10, my flesh is the one that wants it. And my spirit is telling me no, no, no. Because if my flesh wants something, it's easy for me to get it. If my flesh wants something and I want to go out to this person, like, it is easy for me to follow my flesh. It's when God is telling me to do the opposite of that, when my spirit starts to, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we're not doing that. So once they're in battle, immediately, I just got to follow what my spirit is telling me to do. And sometimes you can't differentiate. But a lot of the times, like, deep down inside, when you can't sleep about something and you're like, I just don't know what it is, it doesn't matter what it is. Separate yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. I always tell people this: discernment is not waiting for the evidence to prove what you already know spiritually. Point blank, period. I was talking to God about it because we had stopped talking. I had basically like friend zoned him, like, let's just be friends. Let's just be cool. I don't really want nothing to do with this. Like, just, whatever. It's no bad blood. We're just not meant for each other. We obviously can't get on the same page. It is what it is, right? So after like a month or so, he ends up starting to talk to me again. And I was like, I thought this was done. I thought you actually lost feelings or whatever. He was like, nah, that was you. Woo, 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 woo. We get into a long conversation. He offered to help me with my dresser. he would offer things knowing that he was not going to actually do it. So he offered, and that night he kind of just fell through. The plans fell through, whatever the case may be. Now I knew it. It was kind of like I was testing a theory that I already knew the result to, but I was like, let's see if he really come through. It wasn't gonna be able to, right? So that night my heart was grieved, because it's like I don't understand what it is. Like, I'm like, God, I've done nothing to this person, to the point where I started to believe maybe this is an attack from the enemy. And I'm like, because I have never had so many things come up where a person could not like show up for me. You feel me? Like, to the point where it became overly difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just too difficult. And I was like, nah, something ain't sitting. You know what I'm saying? So I started to believe that maybe this is an attack from the enemy, because the enemy don't want us to be friends or cool or whatever the case may be. That's what the enemy would do. You feel me? Like, the thoughts that was going on in my head. So I asked God, I was like, God, give me an answer. Like, I know my discernment, and I know that you're telling me, you know, this ain't for it, but like, give me clear confirmation where I don't ever, down in the past, think about, what if it was this? What if it was that? Like, give me a short answer. Next morning, I get a call from him. But it's not him. It's his fiance. His fiance. Very sweet. She was not mad, because she would see in the messages that I was kind of egging him and like, let's just be friends. She would see we never kissed, we never had that, we never even hugged, okay? We never even held hands. I never even touched Buddy. I think the most thing I've ever touched his shoulder, and I tapped him like this, and not purposely. It's just in general. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason I need to be touching Buddy. So, he would telling me he would be telling me like how much he likes me intrinsically. Like, who says stuff like that? But he would just like say all this other stuff. So she's reading the messages of him trying to come on to me, and me trying to tell him, let's just be friends. Like, you are gaslighting me, you're this, you're that, da da da. He was like, you're overly righteous. Like, he would say things because I would call him out on stuff. And she was just like, I'm so tired of him lying. Mind you, they have been together for like 12 years. Together for 12 years. He was lying to me, saying that his son was not his son, that it was somebody else's son. And he signed the birth certificate, and that the dad was a bum and all this other stuff whole time. That's actually your biological son. Like, the lies just went on. And I don't believe in work wife, work husband, but if you were trying to flirt with me at work and you just wanted to keep it light and cool, it would have been cool. You feel me? I would have never found out. But you made it your business to bother me afterward. You made it your business to try to pursue me, knowing doggone well you never intentionally wanted to pursue me, because you would always be hanging. Like you were sneaking, dating me on the side. You would literally just fall off and just try to gaslight me into believing that I'm just tripping. So you had no intentions on ever actually taking me out, but you wanted me to believe that. Like, I just did not understand the logic behind it. I genuinely still don't. It doesn't. So, anywho, the point of the matter is, I was like, she was apologizing, like, I'm so sorry, you know, that he's da 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 da. And I was like, girl, you don't gotta apologize. I prayed about it, and boom, I got my answer immediately. Like, you do not have to pray about this. Like, I said, I want to pray for you. Because she was just like, I've been through too much with him. And basically, like, she gonna get a return on her investment. Hey, to each his own. To each his own. But she seemed very sweet, so I really felt bad for her. You feel me? Because I know people like that in my life. So, and mind you, he was a PK, played the drums, and you know about them PKs. I'm sorry. I know, Lord. You feel me? But every single time I run into them, I get the same result. And I'm not saying every PK is a bad PK, but so crazy, because for the people that probably don't know, but anywho, when I was living in Tally and I started working at a job or whatever, it was literally almost the same scenario. Buddy was living with somebody. Buddy was with that person for about 5 years. Buddy tried to talk to me. Buddy tried to pursue me. But in this instance, we had nothing to do. You feel me? We was going on dates. The whole time, like, he had a girl. Before we was going on trips, but like, we just started talking for a while, and it had to come out that he had a girl. And I was kind of like, and the signs was there and not there, because he would text me in the middle of the night. I would see him at work. He was come to my house after work. I genuinely still don't know, even when we was together, like, when he would have time for her. That's how much time he spent with me. So, but it was kind of like I refused to look at the signs because I was lonely. I found somebody that I liked. What's it called again? I got to see often, and I somebody that I had things in common with, right? And he was smart and he was teaching me stuff. So that's the things that, like, you know, oh, I love a man that can teach me something, a man that's smart. And mind you, because he was so smart, those type of dudes are narcissistic and they talk in circles around you. So because I started to like pick up on the things that he would say and how he would say it, this got me prepared. So when I got into the same situation, he would talk with big words that did not make sense, right? And I had a friend that used to do that to another friend. And every single time she would like argue with her, she would losing the argument, she would start using big words to like trip her up. And he would do certain things where he would talk in a circle, say the same thing over and over, but just with different words that didn't really make sense to make him seem smarter. And people like that make me mad because it's like you talking in circles. Just say what you mean and mean what you say. You are putting on a facade. You're putting on, you know, a show. And I called him out on that. I was like, just talk normal. I would tell him not talk normal. And he'd be like, this is how I talk. I'm like, no, you don't. Because he would tell me where he's from, when he talked to his homeboys. But then he would put on this thing. And I'm like, bruh, talk regular. Like, you could just tell when somebody putting on. So that was that. So in this, like I said, in this situation, it kind of was like the same situation. One, I didn't have discernment. Well, I had a strength of discernment I had now. You feel me? Because everybody has discernment. But when you practice and you strengthen that muscle, it becomes larger, right? So when you go to the gym, everybody got muscles. But when you start lifting and you start actually like eating the right things and stuff like that, your muscle tends to grow and you get stronger, right? So that's how discernment is. You have discernment, but when you start actually acting on that discernment, when you actually start trusting that gut, when you start trusting your intuition, you start trusting that and not waiting for that evidence, you start to see, boom, I knew it. Boom, I knew it. And you start to trust in that. And when you start trusting into that discernment more and more often, then your discernment starts to, you know, grow. So you don't even get yourself into level 3, level 4 before you got to back out. You don't even get past level 1 because you knew you had discernment. I ain't even going to be that person for some off. I don't even want nothing to do with that, right? So, that was kind of like, dang, you know what? I could have really got myself caught up. You feel me? But because I stood on business about me not having sex before marriage, because of that, I did not allow sex. I did not allow a lot of stuff to get in the way of my discernment, which did not allow me to be a homewrecker. You feel me? Because nothing would have been worse than me giving myself up, me doing all this other stuff, thinking that, oh, this man is da-da-da-da, and then being hurt and feeling used. You feel me? Another spiral downward, right? And then by grace, God forgives us. But sometimes it's hard to forgive ourselves if we want to be honest, right? So I didn't have to go through all the steps that I had before. But the fact that I let it go on for so long, knowing doggone well from the jump, I kind of knew that. I think I was disappointed in myself. But the fact that I did not slip up the way I did when I was like 19, 20 years old was an extreme thing, right? Moving forward, another dude just tried to talk to me a while ago. And he comes and tells me, yeah, I go to church. I asked him, who's your Lord? First of all, he was flirting with me with his eyes. So I was like, stop flirting with me. And he's like, what you mean stop flirting with me? I'm like, because I know immediately how you're looking at me, what you want. You're not looking at me as your wife. You're looking at me as a thing. To like, not a thing, but like someone to either probably stroke your ego, someone to help you like keep you from not being lonely. You feel me? And that's nice to look at. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was kind of giving. And I asked him like, who's your master? Like, who do you serve? And he's like, I serve Jesus Christ. And I was like, okay, you know, cool, whatever. So I got past that. That means, okay, we could talk. We were talking. And once I brought up like, oh yeah, I'm not having sex before marriage. You feel me? First he told me smoke. I don't like that. I don't judge people that do that because I used to do it. But I don't ever feel like I'm trying to go backwards. You feel me? So God's delivering me from something. I don't want to go into a relationship where another dude has that spirit on them and that spirit now has access to me. You know what I'm saying? It's not judgment. It's just stewardship over my own salvation. So that was already And then when I asked him about, like, you know, I was like, yeah, I abstain from marriage and stuff like that. Immediately it was kind of like, well, you know, with marriage I go day by day. You know, you got to go through the boyfriend stage first. And he said something about, and you can wait all the way till marriage and still pick the wrong person. You're trying to rationalize why I shouldn't wait for marriage. No way, Jose. No way, pussy. Okay? The fact that this is even a conversational piece, because I didn't say I want to have sex with you. I didn't say I want to get married tomorrow. I said I'm waiting till marriage, right? So you can't say I respect that and then go in the list of things on why I shouldn't. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, we not finna, because my thing is, that means you're not waiting. And when you start talking about you want to go, see where things go and day by day. Yes, you can do that, but you need to have intentions. What is your intentions? Oh, you want to build an empire? You want to do this? Okay, but if you would have been actively pursuing me, and a woman saying she's waiting for marriage, and you're trying to pursue me for marriage, me waiting for marriage wouldn't have taken you aback so bad. You feel me? The word marriage wouldn't have, oh, whoa, hold on. That means you're not pursuing me for marriage, and we're not on the same page. So I told him, yeah, we obviously don't see things, the same way. So we can keep it cool and cute. But outside of that, because, you know what I'm saying, there's no reason for us to even try to pursue something that we can't finish. And I'm not about starting stuff and I can't finish it. So we came to that conclusion. But because I stand on business about who I am and where I am at my life, we not doing that, right? So discernment has been a big thing for me on passing certain tests, right? Because the devil gonna keep throwing the same test at you. You got all the answers, you feel me? But whether or not you actually gonna pass the test, are you actually gonna remember the answers from last time? Or are you gonna be like, trip yourself up and be like, oh, maybe it was A, maybe it was B. No, you know the answers, you know what it is, right? So that's that. This job has really tested me in all areas of my life. One, because I'm getting a lot of attention at my job. Good attention, but good attention always comes with bad attention as well. So some people don't like you because of the light that you have, right? So some people don't like you because of the spirit that's in them that recognizes the light that's in you, right? So they're what's the word? Intimidated by that spirit, right? You don't have to do much. You could just walk in a room and they're irritated and intimidated. So I found myself in that case, and I didn't take it personal because I'm like, it's not that she don't like me, it's the spirit that's in her that don't like me. Boom, cool. So she would come for me, she would yell, she would talk out her mouth sideways, she would just say nasty things about me, whatever. But other people were seeing how I was reacting, right? Other people seeing that I was not giving in, I wasn't going back and forth with her, I wasn't doing none of that, and they were applauding me for it. It was like, I would have been snapped on that girl, I would have been did this. The fact that, I'm like, not because of me, because of God. Because Lexi, oh yeah, I would have told her about herself a long time ago. But nah, and when I say need a job, God is my source. This job is my resource. But I'm like, I need this job. You feel me? And I was just like, not only that, like, to allow a person to get me to this level when they're here and I'm here is insane. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what the enemy wanted. Like, the enemy is trying to provoke me to get me on this level because he's not where I'm at. So every single time I would not respond back to her, it would make her mad. And because I was not actually feeding into her, it was actually irritating that spirit in her, right? To the point where she kind of just gave up, right? And other things, she started to move from me to other people. But she started showing her behind. And my thing is, people's fruits will show who they are. People's fruits will show who they are. So she started having these other things, situations, snapping at other people at the job, snapping at higher ups, stuff like that. So come to find out, she's a scammer, she's this, whatever. I'm not even gonna get into that conversation because it's way too much tea and I feel like I'm being messy. So, but the point was, I was supposed to go to a party. I got invited. Right before I got invited, I had a dream about snakes. Snakes, meaning there's a lot of deception around me. There's a lot of fake people around me. I knew who was fake in my job. I knew who not to hang around with outside of work. So when I got invited, I was taken aback. Like, I don't know. There's a couple people that I do like there, but do I want to go out just to be seen and have something to do, or do I want to have discernment and sit my behind home? So at first I said, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm running errands. I'm doing what I'm doing. And I went to go talk to my stepmom. And some said, you know what, Lexi, it ain't worth it. Don't go. And originally because I had forgot to buy the wine. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going back in. Yeah, you know what? Don't even worry about it, Lexi. Like, you're not going to go. So I had already kind of made up my mind. I just didn't say it. So I finally told her, I was like, I'm not going to go. So I was like, yeah, sorry. The next morning she calls me and she texts me like, yo, I'm so glad you didn't go, bruh. All this stuff that popped off. It was about to be a fight. It was fighting, all this other stuff. To the point where it trickled down. It was brought back to the job. People got fired. HR had to start. People that was in the group chat got in the middle of it. So everybody that kind of went to that party, everybody that was kind of surrounded by the area was in the midst of it. You know who was not? This girl right here. Even though I was the first person she had beef with, and she had beef with me for 10 weeks straight at work, and she was cool with everybody else. Everybody that she was cool with, she's now no longer cool with. And mind you, for the last couple weeks, she had been like trying to be nice to me. They all have a problem with her, and all them, you know, whatever, was trying to be cordial and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I don't do stuff like that. I was the only one that didn't have to go to HR. I was the only one that didn't have to go through this because I was not a part of that. So I thought about, dang, if I would have went to that party, if I would have just not listened to what God had told me, and not listened to that dream and that warning, and heeded that warning, I would have gotten myself into some mess that would have trickled down into something that I did not need. You feel me? And when I went to go ask for a schedule, I went to go ask for, you know, some accommodations for some stuff. They were more like, they were happy to like help accommodate me because they saw the class, my training class that I was in, and how I stayed out of the drama, and how I showed professionalism, and how I did that, right? So it fell in my favor. And I thank God so much, because even when I was kind of far from God, God had his hand over me, and God was still warning me. And because I listened to God, because I listened to that discernment and heeded those warnings, I kept myself out of situations. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we put ourselves in situations just to be seen. We put ourselves in situations just to not feel lonely for the moment. We put ourselves in situations just to have something to do. If we want to be honest, you know how many times people done got locked up doing life in prison, or how many times somebody done died and didn't come back home because they just wanted to be seen. They just wanted to have something to do that night, when everybody told them, you should just stay home, bro, just stay home. They felt this need to stay home, but because they wanted to be seen, because they wanted to go out and just have something to do, they never got to come back home. And some people need to understand, sometimes it's okay to just sit home. It's okay to sit home. But discernment has been the biggest thing that God has shown me, but it also allowed me to give grace. This is what I talk about, grace. Grace, because I feel like when you so on fire for God, you don't understand how other people not. I want to be honest. You don't understand, like, how can someone know who God is and everything that he's done for us and just not read their Bible. Just not want to, not peep the music that's going on, and not want to listen to that. And you be kind of self-righteous without being self-righteous, right? Because you're not judging them, but you're not understanding. Like, I don't understand, like, you know what I'm saying, because you're so on fire for God. But once that fire starts to dim, and you start to get into new situations, and, you know, new different things and new schedules, you know what I'm saying, and not have, because before it was easy when I was sitting at home and just going to the gym and I had no job. The level of pride, anger, having to like fight my flesh wasn't as hard because I didn't have that many tests. You feel me? I was just studying pretty much. Now I'm in real life and I have to now apply it. So me trying to apply that to my life has been some ups and downs. You feel me? But it's allowed me to give grace. It has allowed me to give grace so much more, but at the same time, not too much where I'm not holding you accountable. Trying to find that balance. Hold on. Thank you. Yeah. So trying to find that balance. Yeah. But I found my new love. I found my love of fact. I mean, and it's not even new. I unlocked the love of something that I always had that I never really honed in on, which is fashion. I love fashion. I've always loved fashion. People always say, I like how you dress. I like how you dress. I've never had like one sense of style, you know? But when I turned 27, I was like, I want to try this. I want to try this. I found my look. I found what I like. I found who I am. And I genuinely want to share that with y'all. I genuinely like putting pieces together. That's become my favorite part of the day, because I was just doing it for myself, right? So, and I think that's when you find your passion, when you just do stuff for yourself. I was not doing it for social media originally, because I didn't have fashion page. It was just makeup, you feel me? I mean, I post here and there like whatever outfits, but I would never really go anywhere. So I'm going to work, I would put on the fit, and people like, oh my god, like your fit, like my fit. And it became just, you know, just fun to just me being me. So I was taking pictures every day, and as I'm taking pictures every day, I started creating an album. And I was like, you know what, looking at my pieces, I'm like, girl, you can dress. Like, I know it sounds funny, like but no, for real. And I kind of want to share that now, so y'all start seeing fashion stuff, new fashion hauls, things like that on my page, because it is something that has always been like close to my heart without me realizing it. And I feel like because I had been in a state of poverty for so long, that I would only buy something if I'm about to go out, and then I stopped going out for a very long time. So, and then I was dressing kind of like I was from Miami, that wasn't saved, you feel me? So my style kind of changed. So I kind of wear baggy clothes more often. I kind of wear a lot of suits. I know you're like, yeah, I'm in a sundress. It's freaking hot. It's freaking hot. And my friend gave me this, and I think it's so cute. But yeah, my style has changed dramatically, and not even dramatically, my style has enhanced, because I'm in my grown woman phase. I'm in my grown woman era. And it's not even an era. I'm just a grown woman. I'm 27 years old now. I got a whole son. My son is my cat. Yes. It's Meowther's Day, by the way. Meowther's Day was yesterday, actually. My mama didn't text me happy Meowther's Day. It's crazy. I know it's in her calendar because she put it in her calendar. I've just really honed in who I want to be, who I'm becoming. And I have actual goals. Like before, my goals used to be like, I want this amount of subscribers. I want this amount of this. And I want a, cosmetics line, which cosmetics line is still, yeah, you feel me? And I want clients and stuff like that. Now it's more so of, I want to live my life. I want a house, you feel me? Yes, I want to be married. It'll come along the way, I don't idolize relationships anymore. I want to become the best version of myself. I want to feel happy every day. You feel me? I want to, every single time somebody meets me, they meet Jesus in me. You feel me? They meet Jesus through me. So it's whether that be how I carry myself, whether that's how I speak, whether it's just me encouraging them, how I respond to how other people treat me. You feel me? Just in different ways. And I just want to give love. God is love. I like hugging people at work. I like, just being a light. And I'm finally getting back to a place where I want to go out with my friends. I want to do things with my friends and live my life. And I feel like for a while I put Christianity in a box where and not even a box, I just didn't have those Christian friends that I felt like, oh, let's just go out and eat. Let's go out and do this. Because I've been so isolated for such a long time. So now I'm in a place where I have the mental capacity and the energy to be people's friends. I want to be honest. At one point, I did not have the energy to be nobody's friend. I just did not have, not even the time, just the energy. Like, now I gotta text people back. Oh, I gotta show up. I gotta buy birthday gifts. I gotta get dressed to go out. Everything just was too much work. Let me stay home in my robe, watch a show, read my Bible, go to sleep, eat. That's it. That was enough. But now I feel like I need to be out more. You feel me? Not out to the point where I'm outside. Nah, because outside used to be with me. You feel me? We don't need to be locked in like that. But having Christian friends that have the same faith as you, that you can go to church with, brunch with, but you could also go to events with, that you can do game nights with, stuff like that. That's the type of friendships that I am getting myself into and that I'm enjoying. So, like I said, so much has changed. I know I was kind of all over the place. These 12 weeks have taught me so much about myself. It has taught me so much about life, other people, what it looks like to endure to the end. It is to endure to the end. Your walk is not supposed to be perfect. God knows it's not going to be perfect. And because it's not going to be perfect, you have to be okay with the ups, the lows, the highs, the middle, all that. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't matter if you are on a straight line all the way, and then towards the end, compared to the person that's going like this and meets God. You know what I'm saying? So don't compare your journey to somebody else, because at the end it's who endures to the end, who gets to the finish line. And sometimes I'm scooting on my butt to the finish line. Sometimes I'm crawling. Sometimes I'm running, and sometimes I'm walking. You know what I'm saying? Even when you go backwards, right? I kept thinking about that scripture. Like, you don't understand, this whole time I kept thinking about that scripture. About, and I think that's in Luke, right? Let me get the scripture. It talks about the spirits going around looking for when it leaves its house. Maybe it's in Matthew. Dang, I can't think about it. I can't think it over the top of my head right now. Which book is it in? But it's basically where the scripture where he says when a spirit, an unclean spirit leaves the house it dwells in, like when it's delivered, and it goes around looking for somebody else, and then it said when it doesn't find, it goes back to the house that it once dwelled in, and it finds it empty, brings back like multiple spirits, and then that person is worse off. I'm gonna put that scripture right here. Because I always chop it up, but I always know exactly what it is in my head. And I just kept playing over that scripture in my head, more so of like, if I go back, it's going to be worse. If I go back, it's going to be worse. And it took me so long to get here mentally, it's not worth it. If I go back, so no, I'm not smoking. No, I ain't, I'll drink me some wine. You feel me? I'll drink me, like I had mimosa, like they all had, espresso martinis, or espresso martinis, whatever. I was like, oh, that's vodka. No, thank you. Let me go ahead and be the only one to get a mimosa or something like that. Like, I'm okay, because I know who I am. I know what God has delivered me from. Tell my friend, we could go out, but I ain't going to no club with you. If we playing Cardi B, Beyonce, and Sexy Red and stuff like that, when I hear that music, we not going over there. Like, because I know what God has delivered me from. So I just can't go. I can't go back. I can't go back. It's scary back there. And then to be worse off. Because I know the calling that God has on my life. To go back, oh, they finna jump me. Them spirits finna jump me. It's finna be so bad. Oh, they finna jump me. I don't want to type of smoke. And then to delay all the blessings and promises that God has for me in the next season, because I got a little impatient or a little bored. Why do you think I left that side before? Because it was not satisfying. You feed your flesh, it'll never be satisfied. It was never satisfying. I was not happy. I felt like trash. And because one day, like, I'm just not in the mood to watch TV, or not in the mood, you think I'm gonna run back? Crazy. You think I'm gonna just start cursing out people? I mean, I was being tested. And almost at one point, I almost got out of pocket. But I feel so good about myself because I didn't allow somebody to have control over me. To the point where people were leaving the job. People, like, when she tried to threaten to kill everybody or kill people and stuff like that. And, they was missing out on work. I said, dang, somebody had said, dang, like, half of them didn't show up today. Off of one person. I said, to have one person have that much control over you is crazy. I can't do it. If you ain't Jesus, if you ain't the Holy Spirit that dwells in me, no. Absolutely not. So that's my little 12-week update. Is there anything else? Talked about moving, talked about my birthday, talked about the drama at work, discernment. What else? We not going to the gym. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope that y'all are liking this new version of me, that you will like this new version of me, or this 2.0 version of me. You know what I'm saying? and that y'all rock with me, that y'all endure to the end, you know what I'm saying? And watch me just grow as an individual. I want to watch y'all grow as an individual. I try to get to all the comments. I feel like I don't have any more comments that I haven't responded to. And if y'all just, like I said, follow me on my platforms. I'm really on my Slave Scan page most of the time. I be forgetting that I have a I stopped posting on my fitness page, and I be literally forgetting I have my personal page. Like, I should make my personal page my makeup page because it had more followers, but whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna be mostly on that and TikTok. If y'all want to hear me rant, and y'all just want to hear like random thoughts that I be having, that's mostly what I kind of just do. And I have sometimes my Bible study times on TikTok as well. But yeah, just moving forward, I'm just super duper excited just for y'all to have this journey with me, you know, or go on this journey with me. So, and before I leave, I just want to say everybody's 12 weeks looks different. I don't feel like I failed my 12 weeks. I don't feel like just because my body didn't transform, or, you know, I have a whole bunch of new projects and, you know, all this other stuff. I believe that I received so much knowledge, good and bad, about myself in these 12 weeks that I feel like it was an accomplishment. I think that I set out to do something else and got more in return. It just didn't look how I thought it was gonna look. It's not the Instagram or YouTube regulated thing where I dropped 40 pounds and this is how I did it. And you know, I got 10 new habits that I created. No, I kept it a buck with you. I didn't know how these 12 weeks were gonna look. I came in one way and I left out another way. And it was raw and it was authentic and it's honest. It was very honest. Procrastinating a lot of times. But I got a lot of stuff done. It was a lot. It was a lot. But I got a lot of stuff done, and then in that time I felt like now I'm moving forward. I have a vision. I have a path that's a lot more clear than it was 12 weeks ago. So yeah. I do have a couple journals down here below of my organizational journals. I have a prayer journal, and I also have 2 planners. My Go Off planner is probably the planner that I would tell most people to go towards. It is a Go Off stands for go, and then off is organized, faith, and fitness. So you can track everything in those journals if you are a journal girly. So that link will be down in the description box below. Palettes, you know I did my whole face with my palettes. That's down below as well. I have my Naturally Nude palette, and I have my Colorful Glory palette. Those are also linked down below as well. And anything else that I want to kind of go ahead and... No. But I love y'all. Y'all already know the deal. Y'all stay blessed. And what? Y'all flex a Lex. Deuces.